What's up, Cancer? I'm Chris. Welcome to your August Horoscope. Now, guys, I've been gone for a little while. I haven't been doing nothing, as you can haven't been doing anything in proper English. As you can see, I moved. I've also got a brand new setup here, as you can tell by the beautiful quality of the audio and the video here. But the last few months have been tough. Eclipse season, retrogrades galore. Happy belated birthday to all the Cancers out there. Let's go ahead and jump into this reading, guys. If you like this video, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and share, all that good stuff. I have a link to my website where you can check out more information, donate to the channel to help keep it running, as well as private readings. I'm only going to make about 5 or 10 available in August, so if you're interested in those, check those out. So guys, I was getting a couple downloads as I was coming to this reading, and you know that expression, like, it takes a lot of pressure to make a diamond. I mean, it's not just an expression, it's actual science, right? But it's an expression that's used to remind people that when things are hard, when things are difficult, when you feel weight on you, when you feel stress, that it's part of a changing process. Now, we went through eclipses, right? In eclipses, we shake things free that have been stuck to us for a while. And for me, anecdotally, usually about a month after eclipse season is over is when I've noticed I've started to feel the effects of the things that were being released actually in my life. So August, Cancer, is a month where we're going to start to see the tangible results of what we've been releasing over the past few months. And for you guys, I think it's important, I'm looking at my notes here, I think it's important for you to keep in mind that, and this has been a major theme for all signs this month so far, is that discomfort is a part of change. And for us to change and for us to embrace change, we have to actually embrace the discomfort that comes from it. I think that Cancer has maybe gotten a little harder in certain ways. And by harder, I mean more resilient. I think the past few months has shown Cancer, past year or maybe longer, has shown Cancer like what you guys are made of. And I relate to this. I'm a Cancer rising. I'm heavy Cancer placements, Cancer Mercury, so this all is what I'm feeling myself too. But what's happened is that we've proven to ourselves, Cancers, what we're capable of. And that's what we need to remind ourselves right now, even if it doesn't feel that way yet. See, Prince, starting off the reading, I keep saying Prince this month, Page of Wands, as our central situation. What this is saying, Cancer, is that the best is yet to come. But right now it's trying. Right now you have to put in a lot of effort. Whenever I see this card, I always think about a kid who falls and skins his knees and gets back up and keeps going. The name of the game this month, Cancer, is resilience. It's perseverance. I'm sorry, I just got distracted by one of my notes, and I'm going to go there actually. So when I was meditating on you guys, on the sign this month, I kept being distracted. I kept thinking about my childhood for some reason. And I want to bring that up in case that's been on anybody's minds. I was thinking about, for some reason, wrongdoings that happened in my childhood, things that upset me about my childhood. And so I want to put that out there, that Cancer, you might have been dwelling on these things. Sense of wrongdoings. This was reminding me of what I said about a kid, right? Maybe some anger, maybe some confusion about what happened in our childhood. I'm going to throw my notes away so I can focus. But there's also movement here with the Page of Wands. There's growth, there's opportunity. And that's why I feel like, Cancer, the best is yet to come for our sign, for your sign, for us, Cancer, right? The best is yet to come. We're in a growing stage right now. It might feel like in certain ways we're starting brand new. Whatever was released, jobs, relationships, bad habits, whatever was that was holding you back, Cancer, we're now in the stage of moving forward. August is a month where we rekindle our passions, where we get excited about life. Now, if you haven't been depressed or in a particularly bad place, this is still about a go-getter kind of energy. This is still about focusing on living your best life, particularly with regard to your career, particularly with regards to your passion, particularly with regards to how passionately you're engaged with your own life and how passionately you're engaged with the things you love, the people you love. In our ideals, Cancer is the dark moon. So the first thing that came up to my head is like kind of a feeling of wanting to be left the fuck alone. Kind of just wanting to have space. Have like some calm. Like almost like nothing happening right now would feel like a good thing. Because there's so much movement, because there's so much change, because there's so much discomfort. But again, with the dark moon, what it always makes me think of is the void. And how comfortable are we with the void? How comfortable are we with nothing? With space to just be and exist and live? It feels like we want to take a step back in certain ways. And it's not to be a hermit, it's to figure out where we're going. Because it's like you feel movement happening, Cancer. You know things have been changing, you know you've been growing, you know that life is kind of chugging along. This is a very introspective month. This is a great month for meditation, this is a great month for journaling. Despite the fact that we're in the heart of summer, you can meditate out in nature, at the beach, in the water, in the ocean. I kept thinking about during while I was meditating, like ocean is really important. Cancer is the ocean. If you guys have access to the coast, go to the beach, go into the water. Cancer, in our past we have the Magician. So really chugging along. This is what I mean by the movement, right? Really chugging along. But you know what? I feel like when I look at this is that there had to have been a reset. It's almost as if you were on a path and it felt like things were going really well and that you were excited and you were enthusiastic and optimistic and, you know, getting validation and getting credit for things. And now in August, it almost feels like there's not that same sense of just momentum. But Cancer, it just feels that way, right? That's why I wrote in my notes, like, we have to remember how far we've come, even if it doesn't feel like we've gotten there yet. Even if it feels like we're just starting, but we're starting from a new place. We're starting from a place of strength and resilience. Knight of Wands. Right next to this guy, right? So this is why it feels like maybe you've taken a few steps back. As much as there's growth, it might feel like you've taken a few steps back. Starting with, in our past, we have the Knight of Wands. So we're kind of going in a circle here, so it kind of seems like a movement, but this is our past here. There was assuredness about what was going on. But what I also think here is that there was a lot of anger. And that there was a lot of lashing out, possibly. Angry at yourself, but also angry at just the way things are. The way things have been. Angry at the feeling like you can't catch a break. Angry at the fact that it's been hard to not just create, because the creating part I feel like is done, it's doable, like you've been doing that. But to feel good about what's being created. Now, Cancer, there could have been some momentum here, some changes in your career, into your attitudes about your career. Some of you might have literally moved into different careers. Some of you might have tried building. I want to see what comes next here. There's been a lot of frustrated energy astrologically, right? We're just coming out of Mercury retrograde. We're coming out of Jupiter retrograde. And that's why I think it's important right now, while we're still in the shadow of those things going direct, to reflect and to be okay with this sort of gap between what was and what is still yet to be. Cancer, in our past, look at all this. Creation, movement, stability. But also with the Four of Pentacles, we talk about being stuck. I think what this is, guys, is that we were kind of holding on to a way of being. We really wanted to hold on tightly to what was. And now the universe is not allowing that. So whether certain things have gone out of your life, or maybe whether you're just being forced and pushed to change, I think that's what's more going on here, guys, is that there's a push to change. There's a push to continue growing. Even if that growth means sort of feeling like you're starting over, it's not starting over. With these two cards next to each other, it's sort of a sense of frustrated energy. All this fire, but this earth keeping you still. Keeping you wanting to play it safe. Now's the time to let go of what once made you feel safe. What once made you feel comfortable. What once made you feel comfortable, what once made you feel secure, is not serving us anymore. Those things were actually keeping us stuck. Beautiful. Now here's our turning point. So far we have 2 knights in this reading. And what did I say from the beginning? This is a month of movement. Knights are movement. They're forward motion, they're momentum. And now, guys, what are we focused on? What is our turning point? Recognizing that there's a lot of work to do. Recognizing that there's work to do that's going to take time and require patience, and it's not going to have a sort of immediate payoff. This is sort of saying we have to do the tedious things. We have to sort of allow things to unfold as they are going to. Like, we can't force it. In our turning point, it's maybe some frustrations about money. Maybe some frustrations about the direction of your career that are now pushing you forward to make the changes, right? Because with Wands we have career, and with the Knight of Pentacles we have money. So if those two things have been a stress to you, if those two things have been frustrating, that's why we're starting again. But we're not starting brand new. We're starting with all the things you've learned about yourself. It's like moving to a new stage in life. You're not starting new. You're just starting in a different way. A way where you don't have the things in the past that made you feel safe and secure, but that were actually stifling you. For me, it's letting go of bad habits. For some of you, it might be letting go of relationships. Beautiful. Now going forward, Cancer, we have the Star in our near future. Getting in touch with our highest selves, idealism, dreaming big. And with this momentum here, look, on the one side of the Knight of Pentacles, we have the Four of Pentacles. Stagnant kind of energy. On the other side of the Knight of Pentacles, going forward, we have the Star. Expansiveness. Growth. Doing things that you maybe didn't think before were possible for you. Taking steps that at one point might have felt impossible. Might have felt like pie in the sky dreams. But that's the direction this month we want to go in, Cancer. We want to be focusing on what's almost so big that I couldn't imagine having this. What kind of life could I live? I think that what's going on here with this card is I'm feeling like there might have been dreams and goals and ambitions that you saw for yourself but didn't quite feel yourself there, if that makes sense. It's like wanting something, dreaming about it, desiring it, but almost in a way keeping yourself from it. Holding yourself back in certain ways. What we need to recognize right now, Cancer, is that it's going to be slow. But by going slow is how you build a real foundation that's solid, that's strong, that's accurate, that's in line with your ideals. It's a month, Cancer, to think about. Cancer has kind of a changeable identity. Who is the person I want to be now? And not limiting yourself from that. Not limiting what you think you're capable of. Going forward, we have the Nine of Cups in reverse. Things in August, I think that's why we're here too, right, Cancer? They're not going to be as easy as they maybe once were for you. There feels to me a little bit of an uphill battle. Like Capricorn, you take that battle, you go uphill 1 foot at a time, 1 step at a time. With the Nine of Cups in reverse, there still feels to me like some confusion over what you want. Some maybe disappointment about not getting it as easily as you thought you would. Not getting it as easily as maybe you did before. But to me, Cancer, there feels like there's something important in that. In that setback or that lack of instant gratification that gets you in touch with who you really are and what you really want. Have you ever been in that situation where you're just like so frustrated and not getting your way that you say, fuck it, I'm just gonna go for what I want? I'm tired of trying to conform. Tired of trying to live a life that or do things a certain way that doesn't feel real to me. So just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm tired of telling myself that my job is gonna start being satisfying one day, or that I just need to have a better attitude, or that this person's going to change. What the Nine of Cups in reverse is telling me is that there's like an internal search that needs to happen to figure out what it is that you truly want. What is your goal? What is your end game? The star is out in the distance. The star is out there. Out there. It's not something you could just reach out and have. It's something you need to push towards. Think big this month, Cancer. And think long term. There feels to me like you need to. I was talking to a Virgo friend the other day, and he's in town because he opened a new recording studio a year ago. And I was asking him if it's been doing well. And he kind of was like, these things take time, and that businesses can take years to get off the ground. And Cancer, that's sort of what I'm feeling like here, is like maybe not years, but giving yourself that space to see the growth in your life. Giving yourself the space to unfold. Talk about Virgo, huh? Now we have the Hermit rounding out this reading. Right next to the Dark Moon, where we're going inwards. This is not about retreating. The Hermit is telling us that we have more wisdom than we think, and that we're actually on the right path. There's something that's very spiritual about these two cards. There's something that's very attuned about these cards. If you want to get back here, Cancer, because look, I can't point the camera down the way it is right now, but this is where the cards fell, because we're going in a circle here. Actually, I think the way the camera's reversed is going to look this way. So to get back, actually no, because sorry, the Hermit is facing this, so this is how it looks. To get back here, Cancer, we have to go through here. We have to go into the parts that are difficult and uncomfortable. We have to strip ourselves down to nothing but rags. We have to face the shadow self. We have to face loneliness. We have to face impatience. We have to face not running off into escapism. Facing the things that are hard is the name of the game for Cancer for August. You have to face the things that are hard. And then I think Virgo has been coming up a lot in this reading. By September, this won't feel so far away. And then when you're here, you manifest with more clarity, with more strength, with more power. And then things start to happen more quickly. So the idea here, Cancer, is to be okay right now with a lack of instant gratification or lack of things coming or turning out the way you want to be. Because in that, there's lessons. In that, you learn your own strength. In that, you learn what you're made of. And then so when you're back in this position of the Magician, back in Virgo season with Mercury, right? Mercury rules the Magician. Mercury is the ruling sign of Virgo. So when we get to Virgo season, then it feels like just a whoosh of energy. Just like the way that energy is running through that guy's wand, it's just going to feel exhilarating. Bottom of the deck, Cancer, is the Ace of Cups. So what's been going on, what's bringing us here is a connection to the things we love, a connection to passion, a connection to our joy, right? Or a connection to unconditional love. And I think that's what's driving this right now, Cancer. I had a feeling coming into this reading about needing to connect with people. There might be some relationships in your life right now, Cancer, that need healing and that need you to heal them. The Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck says that there's a drive towards connection. There's a drive towards love. There's a drive towards feeling unconditional love of friends, family. I think it's more that than relationship love. But if relationship love resonates with you, it's about what colors our life with meaning in, what colors our life with purpose. In this reading, we have 3 major arcana and 3 court cards. 2 of those 3 court cards are knights. So guys, let's leave this because this was in the beginning of the reading. This is a month where we start to align with purpose. This is a month where by the end we're moving forward. This is a month where we're connecting to the bigger picture. That's what the Chariot does, right? The card that rules you guys. The Chariot, oops, I dropped the Hermit. The Chariot moves, right? And we always focus on the movement part of the Chariot, but how do you start that movement? How do you get the wheels moving? It's gaining momentum. It's the tough, like, you know, when you're trying to make something turn and it's hard and it's hard and it's hard and then it starts to move and then it gets easier and then it gets easier and then you're flying. That's this month, that beginning turning of the wheel and it's going to take force and energy. And then by the end of the month, it'll start to, as the month goes on, it gets smoother, and by September we're moving. Outcome card for the month is the 2 of Wands. So what are we saying? We're moving into the future. Guys, this is the phase right before we go through this portal, before we enter this doorway of a new life. You see how there's this like castle in the distance? That's where we're going in September. But we're here now. We're here right now at the entryway where we're seeing it, but we're not there yet. You feel me? So much promise here, Cancer. If you can not lose yourself, if you can not lose your connection to the people and things that matter this month, especially the people, Cancer, like this month, stay super connected to people. If you haven't called your mom in a while, call her. If there's been a while since you've like hung out with a friend, or if you have tension with somebody that you care about, like this is the month to start working that out. We're going to pull one last card from the Oracle deck to get one little piece of advice here from spirit, from your spirit guides, from your highest self. Oh, there we go. Ego. Look at that, Cancer. What an amazing way to finish this reading. This is not just ego. Look at what this card is depicting. The legend of Icarus, where he flew too close to the sun, where his ambition, where his drive, where his desire to do more and more and more and more and more became his undoing. Cancer, don't sacrifice love for ambition right now. Don't sacrifice connection to friends. Don't sacrifice any part of yourself that's meaningful because you think it's going to get you, nowadays people are like, oh, I'm so focused on my career, I can't deal with the relationship. And maybe that's fair. But to me, there feels like danger there. There feels like you need that connection. Be very careful about flying too high. Be very careful about flying too high too soon. Be very careful about your expectations being way too high. Come down to earth this month, Cancer. Be grounded. Be practical. Keep the ego in check. It's not a month to think you're better than others. It's not a month to think that you should be way farther ahead than you've earned in your job and your career and your ambitions. This is saying there's a lot of work to go. So don't think that you should already be at the finish line, because you're just like not even halfway through the race. Alright, Cancer, I'm just going to leave you on one note here. I don't want to bring politics in this, but the sign I have here I really don't feel is or should be a matter of politics. I've been very hurt and very disgusted by a lot of the things I've been hearing in politics and the way we've been talking about immigrants. Now, Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal, it doesn't matter. We're not going on political speeches here. You're allowed to believe whatever you want about how immigration policy should work and how that should look. But what's happening is that in the process, we're not even having those debates because we're too busy beating up on a very vulnerable group of people. Calling people illegals. Calling people aliens. It's not new, but it's coming to the surface now. And what I wanted to say is that those words are dehumanizing. Those ways of thinking about people lead to people being treated like less than human, being treated inhumanely. So again, regardless of your political affiliation, it doesn't matter for what I'm talking about here. I know this has been made into a partisan political issue, but that's not what I'm getting at here. I'm just saying, in our house, we treat people with love, we treat people with humanity, we treat people with decency and respect. So in these crazy political times, don't lose connection to empathy and don't lose connection to our humanity. Because if we lose that, we have nothing. None of it is worth it. I love you guys so much. I'll talk to you next month. Adios.